What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. This is our first artist interview of Fear the Riff 2018. We are here with Chris Caffery. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, it's great to be here. I just actually beat the Yankee traffic and made it down here pretty easily. I live about 60 miles north of the city, so it was a pretty smooth ride, and it's a great venue. I like being here.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there was any Yankee traffic at all because it was downpouring earlier.
You know what? I didn't hit that, but I hit a puddle in the after the Triborough Bridge. There was this giant thing in the road, but then it seemed like a mile away that there was absolutely no rain at all, so it's spotty, but
yeah,
I didn't hit it.
I woke up to the sound of thunder, but it's metal. So
there you go. Very, very cool.
Yeah, but being that your latest album is the Jester Court, it came out this year. How has the record cycle been and everything?
Everything's been good. It's actually only been out 2 weeks as of yesterday, so it's I'm still doing a lot of press and in a process of getting a couple more videos together, but it's cool. The industry's changed a lot. You gotta work hard and network with your fans a little bit closer than you did in the past. It was funny because I was going through some files and just looking. I think this is about 15 years that I've been doing my solo records now, maybe a little bit less than that, but it was incredible what the difference in sales have been just through the whole digital thing throughout the 10, 15 years that I've been doing this. I mean, and it's not that you have any less. I have more fans online, but it's the whole the way the industry works is a lot different now, and everybody's feeling it. So you just got to work a little bit harder and network to your fans, and everybody really likes it, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, being that you've been making records now for a while, do you kind of have like a mode that you go into when making new music, or do you take a new approach to everything you make?
It all depends on where my head is at. This record, I had a lot of inspiration through a string of personal people losses. I mean, it was crazy. My dad passed away in March of 2016, and after that, it was about 16 other people that were very close to me in my life, including my producer and my boss, Paul O'Neill, and my bass player, David Z, and my webmaster, and my guitar tech of 17 years. It was just this constant barrage of that, and I think I used those emotions when I was writing this record to really focus and help me to keep my head on something a little more positive than the constant losses that were going on around me.
Yeah, I mean, did the music come into your head during the course of all of this, or
a lot of it did? Yeah, there was a certain song that I wrote for Paul that I actually wrote just walking one day on a rail trail, and the chorus, the lyrics, and the melodies came into my head, through that inspiration. So yeah, a lot of it did.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss and everything.
It's I'm just hoping that they've turned the page or we're at the corner to a path that's not going to see so much of it, because it just got to be a lot. It was actually a really good friend of mine lost her mother a couple weeks ago, and she wanted me to go to the funeral, and I was like, look, I can't handle any more funerals right now. Every time I go to one, it reminds me of all the other ones that I was just at, and it's a little bit too much, but like I said, hopefully that's going to change.
Yeah. Now, one thing I was always curious about is, with your solo stuff, how different of like a mindset you're in as opposed to your time with Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Well, with the solo stuff, that's my chance for me to be, even in the case of the Jester's Court, where to say, that's the Jester ruling his own little kingdom. It's like that's where it's my chance to take out the blank piece of paper and do what I want with it. It's like I have a great career with TSO, and I've had a great career with Paul and that whole Sabotage organization for over 30 years, and what is ever asked of me to do on that stage and off that stage for that is what I do. When I do my stuff on my own, it just gives me a chance to go out and not necessarily let off steam, but just be creative in the way that I like to, without trying to force that onto something else, because everything has its spot, and that's the important thing about being a musician, is to be able to find your place and be happy with what you're doing, and I definitely am.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool that you are able to work both ways.
Yeah, exactly. And plus I do other projects too and records, and I have a thing with Ripper Owens coming out in January called Spirits of Fire for Frontier Records, and that's a really cool record. It's got Steve DiGiorgio from Testament on bass and Mark Zonder on the drums from Fate's Warning, and it's just really cool metal. We just shot a couple of videos in LA for it a couple weeks ago.
Combining thrash metal with prog metal with some symphonic.
It's cool. It's got a nice sound to it. Roisy produced it, and that was one of the main reasons why I took on that project, because I really liked his work with Dickinson and Halford and wanted to get a chance to do a record with him.
Yeah, that's going to sound awesome. And the final question is, we're at Fear the Rift 2018. You know, it's gear galore out here. I call this the manageable NAM. But what's your weapon of choice?
You know what? That's funny because I really don't have one. I mean, throughout the years, I've endorsed Dean and Jackson, and I take a lot of my Gibsons on the road. So it's kind of what I feel like. I'm more like a mood kind of person. You know, I've gotten a lot of great stuff from Dean Zielinski, and for me, every guitar has its own personality. And sometimes I just get a feeling off of seeing one. Other times I'll get it off of holding one. I mean, usually with TSO, I bring about 10 guitars on the road, and I like to bring something new every year. And this year I haven't figured out what I'm going to bring that's different, so maybe I'll run into something here that'll be that missing piece.
Maybe. You never know what you're going to find.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time. Just anything you'd like to promote? I know you got some shows in Atlanta coming up.
Well, I'm doing Prague Power with Doro, and just continuing to promote the Jester's Court, and Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be releasing its tour dates sometime in the next few weeks, so we'll be back on the road with that soon. Like I said, the Spirits of Fire record will be out in January, so I got a lot of things happening, and it's great to be here doing the Fear to Riff. It's great to see this in my own city without having to jump on an airplane and go too far away. So I'm hoping this is something that really builds and becomes a big thing for New York City.
Yeah, where I work is just like a 10-foot walk from here. So.
There, that's perfect.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody, we are here with Chris Caffery. Pick up the Jester's Court. You do not want to miss it. Catch him on its tour with everything going on. We'll see you next time on Heavy New York, everybody. Fear the Rift 2018.